Hi guys, so Age of Sigmar Skirmish is out and it looks really good. I haven't managed to get any games in yet, but that'll happen very soon. I've got one problem. It's a pretty big one, but I'm going to spend this video explaining it to you. Right then, so what is my issue? What's the bee in my bonnet? Well, it comes down to building warbands. Now, in order to explain this to you guys properly, I need to first explain how Pestilens work in Age of Sigmar. So, in Age of Sigmar, in order to take the Plague Monks, which are these fellas here, as your battle line, i.e. your basic troops for those who don't play Age of Sigmar, you have to run only Pestilens. So that means no other clans in the Skaven, no Nurgle. You can't run Nurgle, although conversely you can actually run Nurgle battle line because the Skaven Pestilens have the Nurgle keyword, which is really annoying. The Nurgle stuff should potentially have had the Pestilens keyword, and then it would have worked both ways. Anyway, so the basics of it is you're locked in when you're playing Pestilens. If you want to run your Plague Monks as your basic guys, you're locked into just using Pestilens, and therein comes the problem, right? So I was on board with Skirmish, only allowing you to use plastic kits. So I thought, okay, well there's two plastic kits available that aren't big, and that is the Plague Monks and the Plague Priests. And I thought, well, they've got several Plague Priests, and I can basically just make up the numbers using different Plague Priests. That'll be pretty cool. No. In the rules, they basically state that you can only use one of each War Scroll. So I'm limited to a Plague Priest and 20, just 20, because they've reduced the size as well of the War Scrolls, 20 of the Plague Monks. And in terms of points, that actually comes to 36 points. Now, by the end of the campaign that's in the book, you need to have 50 points. Or rather, that's basically how much you're going to end up with through the campaign. That leaves me with a shortfall of models that I don't own because I'm collecting Pestilens, because I can only use Pestilens models. So that basically at this point, any models I build and paint up from this point on won't be usable in my Pestilens army. So I have a choice of either building up models that I'm not going to use in Age of Sigmar for Skaven, or just completely go away from Skaven for Age of Sigmar skirmish purposes, which I don't think I'm ready to do yet, because that way just leads to building an army, which is ideally what Games Workshop wanted me to do. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the little rats that come in the Plague Monk kit, these little fellas that are pulling the cart along the front there. Those are basically the same size as giant rats. So I'm going to stick the ones that come free on the Plague Monk kits on their own individual bases and just use them like that. So basically I'm going to have one of these fellas, which annoyingly now I have 3, but at least they are usable in Age of Sigmar, which is pretty cool. I needed more heroes. I'm going to use one of them, 20 Plague Monks, which is going to be absolutely dirty considering you can only really kill one per turn per opposing model, you know what I mean, for shooting, because they're now separate units, so it basically becomes ridiculously good. I'm not intending to make it cheesy, but it's just turning out that way. And then filling up the gaps with giant rats as well, which basically means I'm going to end up with something like 40 odd models on the table. What's my shortfall? Like, yeah, no, 20 plus 1, 30 or 40 models, which is just stupid because other people will be having like 3 in their their armies. So it's going to be interesting anyway. So that's where I am at the moment. That's what I'm stuck with. So I'm just going to run with it and see how it goes. It might turn out to be ridiculously cheesy. It might turn out to be terrible. I really don't know. That's what I wanted to explain to you guys. So I think there's a lot of other armies that are going to suffer from the same problem, or certainly a lot of people being forced down the route of only taking certain models, and now they're in Age of Sigmar Skirmish are stuck with not being able to fill their points, which is a bit of a shame, really. It would have been nice, for example, for them to include the different plague priests that you can take, and that way I would have been able to take several of the war scrolls and make up the points in that way. Would have been a really simple change. It might be something that I'll be talking to opponents about, maybe. I don't know. Oh, in other news, I got this. Now, he's a beautiful little beast. He's almost finished. There's still some details to do on him. He's magnetized to his base for storage, and his arms come off as well. But he is beautiful. If you've been watching the different Facebook groups I'm on, you'll have seen some pictures of him. But I'll be doing a video on him shortly, the next few days, I would think, because I love him. He's absolutely brilliant, and I've been painting in the time where I felt up to it this weekend. Yeah, I'm in love with the model. Just hope I can do it some justice. Right, babbled for far too long. I was wanting to make this a nice short one of like my thoughts on Age of Sigmar Skirmish now that it's out. And it's turned into God knows how long, probably a 10-minute video. Right, and on that vein, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Stay well, guys.